Hey guys, we're back in the shop, working on the wagon, fresh back from SEMA. We had a great time, took a couple of the guys down there, met a lot of great people. George from Ride Tech, we had Jason from Vintage Air, and Hunter Ring from Ring Bros giving us an awesome tour on a few of their rigs there. Just amazing builds. That will come soon in a video we drop. It just basically compiles all the SEMA stuff there. I know you've seen it all over the internet and everything. So it'll be our take on SEMA. We had a great time, really enjoyed it. Now it's time to get back to work. I am in the hot rod treehouse right now. As you can see, yeah, it's pretty stacked up in here. So instead of moving a bunch of stuff around, it's messy outside today. We got a bunch of bare metal cars in here. I don't want it to go outside. We're gonna work from up here. And as an added bonus, we got heater blowing right at it. It's warm. Anywho, where we left off in here, we have a massive hole underneath that cardboard. Started roughing in a template. Again, we'll transfer that to sheet metal, roll it through the planishing hammer and English wheel to kind of smooth things out. But at the end of the day, it was the right choice. I hate going backwards. I've gone backwards on just about everything on here. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. As long as it works out in the end. Anyway, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna finish up this template, get it clecoed in place, transfer it to some sheet metal, and start forming it. I would love to get this floor buttoned up here soon, and then we can move on to getting carpet and the rest of the interior finalized in here, because right now there's nothing. As long as I'm throwing sparks, I don't want anything in there. Let's get to it. All right, guys, I'm gonna grab a piece of 18 gauge. We have it sitting here. It's been cut into off the plasma, so I'm gonna run it through the shear, get everything squared up, transfer my template to it, and then we'll start forming all that stuff. So let me get a nice clean slate here, and we'll get templating. All right, guys, I got the template roughed in here. I went a little bit big all the way around. I'm gonna trim out the hole. There's a little notch thing for the shifter arm. I'll probably do that first. Actually, I take that back. I'm gonna do that after. I'm gonna get this thing formed first, roughly anyway, and then I'll trim the hole. It'll be a lot easier to roll this thing through the wheel without a hole in the middle of it there. So we'll do that first and go from there. All right, guys, I got the water fillet planishing hammer set up here. I know I said it in another video, but bought this little bench mount clamp thing from Tin Man's Garage, who, by the way, I saw at SEMA, and their build was even better in person. But took that, combined it with the Harbor Freight planishing hammer foot operating thing, so I can just lock this pedal or this handle in and go to town. And make a bunch of noise, so put your earmuffs on. All right, guys, that was a quick rough in. Basically just ran it through the planishing hammer with a pretty aggressive profile on my die, and then followed up with something finer to smooth things out. Ran it through the English wheel. This is the result right now. You can see I have it bumped up right here. This is the back by the seat, and it comes forward, shifters in here, and then fits in this transmission here. What I need to do now, this mark I can still see faintly here where the old shifter sits. So I think what I'm going to do is trim that and start the slow process of creeping up on that there. So I think what I'm going to do is get the initial hole cut and then leave this section here, which you can faintly see, this line here. It's where the shifter arm goes. I'd like to just planish that out, blister it out a little bit more. Maybe what I'll do before I trim all that is focus on this here, get this blister built out, smooth out, and then trim the hole for the actual shifter. Yep, sometimes you just gotta talk yourself through it. All right, now we got a big old blister here, so hopefully that gives enough room for the shifter arm to clear. You can faintly see a line right here. I'll re-sharp it so you can see it better, but we're going to go ahead and trim that out right there. Probably just start with a circle and then gradually work our way up from there. There's a few ways we can do that. I can drill a hole and run a nibbler around it to trim it. That's probably the quickest. I can also do a knockout punch, but that flattens this area right here, which may or may not be a bad thing. The knockout's much cleaner. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. The nibbler made quick work out of that sheet metal there. However, it left these little devil hooks everywhere, and we've been through this before. I know you can't really see it, but those things will find their way into your sole. So I'm going to sweep up before I track these all over the place, and then we'll try fitting that guy. Thanks, Tracy, for the cup. Pretty cool little tumbler, and stay hydrated. Let's go fit this thing. Got this thing sitting in here, it's literally just sitting here, guys. This needs to go down further. You can see how much of a gap there is here. It's hitting here. The bottom of this arm is hitting down here. So I need to bring this out, bring this up. Then I can try pushing it back down into place. And then we'll work on getting all the little corners and stuff trimmed and fit, but initial fit, it's in there. Pull this sucker out, give it a little tuning. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got the panel roughed in again. It's been a lot of in and out stuff, not the burgers. Trying to get this thing to fit. I still got a long ways to go. Just trying to make sure it clears everything. Slowly creeping up on the trimmage of it. You can kind of see how it's fitting so far. All that needs to fit nice and flush and give room for the shifter. Looks like so far it's gonna clear, so I'm gonna work on forming that thing into place. Hopefully we're getting closer. A little bigger bulge over there than I was hoping for, which always makes it difficult for the carpet, but hopefully it'll suck down a little bit. We'll see. About 900 hours later, this thing's roughed in and clecos are holding now. Still have some forming and some trimming to get it to sit just nice, but you get the idea. I'm going to tune this thing up a little bit. I'm going to trace it out and see where it's sitting in relation to the 4-hole and what I can trim down on it. Also got a little notch here. It's locking into park, but it's touching just barely, so I'll clearance that. Clean up this metal here and start burning it in. Finally. Alright guys, tunnel's out again. So I sharpied around the edge here. And you can kind of see how much overlap there is. Quite a bit on this side over here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but almost 2 inches overlap. This is kind of what I'm aiming for, about ½ an inch, something for the metal to sit on. I haven't decided if I'm going to make this panel removable or not. Would be kind of handy, but I can trim back all this excess stuff on here because I don't need it to be there. What I'll probably do is stay ½ inch off of the line that I just drew on there and trim it back and put this back on for real. And either I can put thread certs or I can just stitch it, weld it, seam seal it, all that good stuff, and be fine. Which I'll probably end up just doing that. It actually fits somewhat decent, so that's good. And yeah, I'm gonna get trimming. Alright guys, got the tunnel clecoed back in. It actually fits pretty dang well now. I went ahead and zinc weld through primered the back side of the tunnel and also the perimeter of the floor, so that when this gets all stitched in, it'll be nice and sealed up and won't have any rust issues. And then after this, I'll be ready for carpet finally. And yeah, moving forward, sometimes you gotta do it more than once, but I feel better about it now, especially since I was able to move that shifter back too, and it just works out better in the end. Next time we'll get welding this thing in and be done with this, and then finally I can move to the front end of this car. I've been meaning to get the radiator in, electric fan in, button up all the front plumbing with the AC condenser and all that stuff. So I really want to see this thing run. All this was necessary in the grand scheme of things. So anyway guys, until next time, see ya.